Hello and welcome everyone. This is Chris here. In this lesson I'm going to talk about years, dates and prepositions we use to describe activities. This is the third of 3 related lessons. The first one was about days, months and activities. The second about times and activities. And now this one, all related to the same thing to help you when using prepositions to talk about activities over various periods of time. Please look in the YouTube description to read the notes for this lesson, and also at the top I will post the links to those previous 2 related lessons if you want to check those to learn a bit more about this type of subject. Today then I'm firstly going to help you to talk about years, then dates, and then a couple of prepositions we use when describing activities. The notes are in the YouTube description, as I mentioned. Please do read along with me if you want to. Starting with the years, this current year, 2014 or 2014. That's how we say it, the structure we use to describe years normally, those 2 ways. Another year, 1999, or sometimes we omit the century. Those are the first 2 digits. So we might say 99. Another example, 1981 or 81. Omitting the century is normally because it's the most recent year. So if we say 81, we wouldn't be talking about 1881. We know we mean 1981. If we say 99, we know we're talking about 1999. Various collections of years. 10 years equals a decade. 100 years is a century. 1,000 years is a millennium. We actually name the various decades. 2000 to 2010, those were the noughties. It's like a joke name, but we do say that. 1990 to 1999, the 90s. 1980 to 1989, the 80s. And a different example from further back, if we're talking about 1880 to 1889, we would call those the 1880s. Again, you see the same format. If we're talking about decades in the 90s, we can omit the century. If we want to talk about a decade in a previous century, for example the 1800s, we need to include it as in the 1880s. And then the names for the centuries. So our current century, 2000 to 2099, we call that the 21st century. 1900 to 1999 was the 20th century, and then carrying that pattern backwards. Dates. Really important thing to distinguish between American English and British English is the way that we write the dates. In British English, we write from left to right the day, the month, and the year. Americans reverse the month and the day. In Britain, it's the day, then the month, then the year. For example, the first 2 digits will be the day, the second pair of digits, the month, the final 2 or 4 digits, the year. So it might be 010114, 0101 2014 equals 1 Jan 2014, 1 January 2014, 1st of January 2014. I'm reading what I've written in the description. Please look there if you want to understand what I'm doing. I have some examples of the same date but different ways to write the date in British English. And then the 15th of March 2009 there. 15/3/09, 15/03/2009, 15 March 2009. Many different ways to write the date in British English. That's the main purpose of this lesson, to familiarise you with those. What about your date of birth? It's one of the most important information about you. You need to be able to tell people because, of course, like in your own country, I'm sure you will get asked it all the time. What is your date of birth? For identity. It's the date you were born on, your date of birth. And it can be shortened, the acronym DOB. If you're filling in a form or something like that, it says DOB, it probably means date of birth. And there are some examples of how to write it down or say it. My date of birth is 14/11/1980, if you were born on the 14th of November 1980, for example. My DOB is, my date of birth is, my DOB is the... Again, we have the different examples of how to write the date, and in this case, your date of birth. Then your birthday, we omit the year. I mean, the birthday means the actual day of the year you were born on, doesn't it? So my birthday, for example, in using that date up there, the 14th of November, do please check the description because the formats, all the different ways we can write it, those are important to know and learn. I've done the examples with the various formats of particular dates for you to study there. The final part for this lesson, I wanted to introduce you to a couple of prepositions we use to talk about years and dates. Use in to talk about actions which take place within a year, decade, century, millennium, etc. So in is to be used for years. Examples: I was born in 1980. I grew up in the 80s. They got married in 2002, and they still are. Use on to specify a particular date that an action took place on, or when something occurred. More examples. I was born on the 14th of November 1980. He sadly passed away on the 7th of March 2009. I bought this car on 2nd of June 2011. In the UK, Christmas is celebrated every year on December the 25th. For years, it's in. For dates, it's on. That is a crucial point to remember which preposition to use. By the way, can you guess what my date of birth is? It's not the one that I was talking about here. See if you can guess it. I'm interested to know what you think. That is it for today. I hope you found this lesson useful. Please remember that there are two others. In this one we have looked at years, dates and prepositions. And there are a couple of other lessons I have already posted about times, days, months and prepositions for describing activities. Thank you very much for watching today. Please use the links in the description to join us on the other websites such as Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all the podcasts, British Accent podcasts, free for everyone to listen to, download, share and use as you wish on soundcloud.com/learnbritishenglish. And the main website is www.learnbritishenglish.co.uk. Please do join us if you haven't already. We'd love to have you. My name is Chris then, and again, thank you very much for your support and time in watching this lesson and my many others. I will be back soon. Please do take care. Best wishes for everything in your life, and especially good luck with your English. And I will see you next time.